The whispers echoing through the mansion's corridors were, in fact, the silent harbinger of a great storm. While everyone blamed Asma, believing Mukadder's death to be an accident, no one realized that a monster was breathing right beside them. The chilling serenity on Metin's face was not that of an innocent man, but the cold-blooded composure of a murderer who had killed his own father. Mukadder's death was not a simple accident, but a dark execution meticulously planned. Metin silenced not only Mukadder, but everyone who knew the truth, one by one. Moreover, he wasn't alone on this bloody path. Gulsum, blinded by greed, was Metin's accomplice in every drop of blood spilled that night. While obscuring the evidence and throwing Asma as a scapegoat before the family, they had only one goal: to bury their own filth in the marble of that pristine mansion. But they forgot one thing: secrets cannot remain forever in the darkness to which they belong. The unsettling suspicion growing within Serhat transformed into a devastating truth one midnight when whispers surfaced. When he heard with his own ears that the person he trusted most was his father's murderer, the world was no longer the same for Serhat. The great catastrophe that erupted within the mansion wasn't just a confession. The masks hidden for years fell, the fake tears dried, and the weight of the truth settled on everyone's shoulders like a nightmare. Those who thought everything was over when Metin went to prison were wrong, because the old letter found in Mukadder's room proved that the real horror had only just begun. Mukadder had written it days before her death. Metin wasn't alone. There's someone else inside. This sentence solidified the dark cloud hanging over the mansion, never to dissipate again. Lights spontaneously turning on at midnight, objects shifting, and those mysterious gazes you felt on the back of your neck. Metin was only the tip of the iceberg. Who was that shadow still lurking among us? Shaken by the voice recording in Serhat's possession, Zeynep gets lost in the dusty pages of her own past, and the secret of that baby who disappeared years ago is already enough to shake the foundations of the mansion. The heavy silence inside the mansion was proof that the pin on a bomb ready to explode had been pulled. The missing documents in Serhat's possession showed that someone was still desperately trying to obscure the truth, but the anonymous message was an invitation that would change everything. Behind the rusty doors of the old, abandoned factory, not only the wind, but also the cold sins accumulated over the years whispered. Although Zeynep and Serhat felt themselves getting closer to death with every step in the darkness, it was too late to turn back. The light of the old projector reflected on the dusty wall was actually spewing out scenes that would shatter the entire honor and past of a family. The woman carrying the baby taken out of that door years ago resembled Zeynep's own mother so much that their breaths caught in their throats. Time stood still. The ominous voice that said, "If you get closer to the truth, your future will be destroyed," left the key to the cellar like a seal before them and disappeared, unaware that the real battle had begun inside the mansion. Azra's exposure of Serhat's fake recovery charade in front of everyone shattered all the balances in the mansion. Serhat's furious reaction when cornered proved not his innocence, but just how dangerous he could be. But the real insidious plan was in Barak's hands. The forged documents left in Zeynep's room began to erode her trust in Serhat like poison. Unaware of what was about to happen, Serhat, with the rusty key in his hand, slipped down the dark stairs of the cellar. When the door, which hadn't been opened for years, creaked open, the scene before them was no different from a graveyard, but the old family photograph hanging on the wall dropped the real bomb. The face that was said to be dead was looking at them from the photograph, showing that the enemy hadn't actually left, that it had been eating at the same table with them for years. At that moment, the door slammed shut behind them, and Nekat's icy voice saying, "Some truths should remain buried," was enough to turn the cellar into a tomb. When the old voice recording, echoing in the darkness, hit the walls of the room, Serhat's father's pleas for a baby's life, Zeynep had nowhere left to run. As the cellar walls spewed forth the darkest screams of the past, Serhat and Zeynep were trapped. The voice rising from an old recording device, Serhat's father's trembling tone, determined the fate of a baby, while Zeynep's world crumbled. Understanding that her past, contrary to what she had believed, was not an innocent story but the product of a bloody bargain, opened the deepest wound. The explosions that began then, and the suffocating smoke that filled the cellar, were proof that someone wanted not just to silence them, but to completely destroy them. Nekat and the hidden hand behind him had used fire as a weapon to bury the truth in the dusty cellar. Even as he gasped for breath amidst the flames, Serhat, with his last ounce of strength, lunged at the door to protect Zeynep. That door not only shattered a piece of wood, but also the wall of lies built over the years. When they finally emerged, breathless, into the mansion's garden, the scene awaiting them was even more devastating than the fire itself. The shadow, believed to be dead for years, the one mourned at its grave, stood before them, alive and well. The sentence he uttered as he handed the file to Serhat was a summary of a warning that would forever change the lives of everyone in the mansion. Learn to trust yourself first, not your family. Now the enemy was not only outside, but in the most trusted rooms, behind the most innocent-looking smiles. This destruction, which began with the unmasking of Sihan, combined with Barak's insidious games and Nekat's dark ambition, transformed the mansion from a home into a hell for its inhabitants. But now, for Zeynep and Serhat, fear gave way to revenge. Because the biggest secret had just been revealed, and the truths within this file would not only shake the mansion, but completely destroy it. Who do you think is the real enemy within the mansion? What is this mysterious person who reappeared after so many years, trying to prove to Serhat? Don't forget to share your guesses and theories in the comments and subscribe to the channel to solve this mystery together.